Hey, Mark Shepard, honesthypnosis.com, and I just wanted to share probably one of the most quoted quotes in the personal transformation, go for what you want world. And it's by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Goethe. I think I gotta say it like Goethe, not Goethe. Goethe. And I think this is really powerful, and it's something that you see little bits of it in lots of places. It's probably on a million different posters or those things that people forward on Facebook, And it's just something that I think is very inspiring to people, and I think it really puts the finger on the challenge that a lot of us have. I'm reading I read this book, How to Get Rich by Felix Dennis, yesterday while I was waiting for 5 hours for my car to be repaired, and a couple of different thoughts have come in the process of, I drive a Toyota Matrix, which is a little hatchback, and it was my mom's, and when she passed away she left it to me, and so I've been driving this car for more than 10 years now, and the last money I literally put into it was like a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. It's got 167,000 miles on it. And part of why Toyotas and Japanese cars in general, and now most cars everywhere in the world, are so much more reliable and dependable and well built than the cars of even 30 years ago, is because of a guy named Dr. Deming, who the Japanese really embraced, and his idea was Kaizen. The Japanese call it Kaizen. Just one little step forward, one little improvement here, and if you buy a car every 10 years or so, the improvements in those 10 years are vast, right? But each year they just make a little. They keep improving, right? They just keep improving, and so I think that's a good thing. It's a wonderful time to be alive. You are wealthy just by being alive at this time in the world. But I wanted to read this quote because I keep coming back to this. As you begin to think about who you really want to be, I challenged my dad. He's 88. I said, Dad, what are you going to do for the rest of your life? What are you going to do that will make you supremely happy and just make you so excited to wake up every day? And I think we have to step by step begin to ask ourselves really powerful questions that programs your unconscious mind to take you where you want to go, right? So get your unconscious mind on board with you so there's no conflicts, right? But then ultimately, this is a journey, and we have to make a commitment, I think, to ourselves, to our own transformation. And that's why I made a commitment to myself to literally every single day, whether it's first thing in the morning or before I go to bed, I'm going to get a blog post, a video, a new little idea, a little bit of what I'm thinking about and how it can help you up onto this blog, up onto my YouTube channel. So here it is. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back. Always ineffectiveness concerning all acts of initiative and creation. There's one elemental truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans. That the moment one commits oneself, providence moves all. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never have otherwise occurred. A whole stream of events issue from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of incidents and meetings and material assistance which no one could have dreamed would come his or her way. And that's Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. And the book that I just read is How to Get Rich by Felix Dennis. He's the founder of Maxim magazine. And the deal is that once we make a commitment, things begin to fall into place. And his use of the word providence here, Goethe's use of the word providence is really, providence is the feminine name for God. And if you think about, I like to think of God as the universe. I don't think of God as some old man with a beard sitting in heaven, with St. Peter at the pearly gates. That's kind of an old metaphor. And no disrespect intended if someone believes that God is an old man with a beard. I think ultimately we are in an amazing universe, and the very fact that we are alive, that we have breath, that we have the freedom to change our thoughts every day, I think that is the most profound thing that we just don't even, most of us don't even pay any attention to. We're so busy getting things done. And that was my question from yesterday was, are you too busy to do the things that you really want to do? Because ultimately, we could die. We could die at any time, right? And I don't mean that in a morbid way. My 30-year-old son just told me of a friend of his who kind of on the last minute didn't ride with his parents in a car going someplace. He went someplace else, and an SUV jumped the guardrail and slammed into his parents' car, and his dad's in a coma. His mom and sister were killed. And the bottom line is, you don't know how long you have here. I don't believe that this is the end. I believe that we come from someplace, our energy comes from somewhere, and that when we die, we go someplace else. However, the very fact that we're here, I believe, is a conscious commitment on some higher level. We've come here to see what we can manifest, to see what ideas we can turn into reality, to see what thoughts we can choose to think instead of just being a victim of whatever the culture is beaming at us, right? And yesterday in the auto repair shop, and by the way, Firestone has their shit together. Firestone is an amazing place. They never try to oversell me. They never try to convince me to spend more money. They've been amazing, and I've continued to go there for many years, and I will continue to use them. It wasn't their fault that I spent so much time there yesterday. My car needed a bunch of different things, and it was just time to get them done, right? And my one thing in the morning was I called them to find out what availability they had, because the night before my muffler fell off. And I need to go to a gig today. I'm doing a gig about an hour away, and I needed my car, right? And so they called and said, well, we've had a couple people who didn't show up. If you get here now, we can work on it. So that became my one thing, and I put everything else aside. That was the one thing that made everything else possible, easier, or unnecessary. And so I went, dropped everything, got my car there, took a book, and I read the whole book while I was sitting and waiting. And then I kind of was watching the TV that was on as an observer and seeing how we are bombarded every day. Every day we are bombarded with hypnotic messages from the media trying to get us to buy drugs, to buy things we don't really need, to feel bad about ourselves so that we buy something else, right? And ultimately, yeah, the economy's, I think, important. I think people create great products, and other people need to hear about them, and great, that's fine. But just be aware. Just be aware you're being hypnotized all the time. And I think the commitment we have to make to ourselves, to quote Goethe, is essentially to commit and move forward on a journey of self-discovery and self-transformation. Once you make that commitment, stuff begins to happen in your favor. Stuff begins to happen, and once you shift your interpretation of whatever does happen to go, wow, I don't know how this is in my favor. I don't know how the universe is moving things to support me, but I believe it is. I believe it is. And that belief, and I can teach you how to install a belief into your mind. Whatever you want to believe, you can believe, and whatever you want to stop believing, you can stop. But to take that belief and to work with it a little bit every day. What is it today? What am I here to learn today? What gift does this particular situation have for me today? What gift does my muffler falling off at this time give me, right? And it turned out, boom, got the muffler done, got my brakes done, was able to kind of check in with everything that's going on with the car, some things that need to be done down the road. I may need to buy a new car. It may be that time. So it was perfect. It was really perfect to think about what my car means to me, and the fact that I have a car, it's paid for. I'm rich. This is a resource I have. And yeah, it needs maintenance and it needs some repairs perhaps, but 167,000 miles with very little maintenance other than oil changes. That's an amazing thing. We live in an amazing time. And to know that in Japan, this idea of one step at a time is almost a religion. And the quality of the products that they have created is amazing, and we benefit. And that's happening all over the world. And I think it's a cause for celebration. So whatever it is your one thing that you're thinking about, whatever it is that would make your life fill with the feeling that you're prosperous, you're abundance, you're working, you're making movement towards where you want to be. That's your assignment for today, as it is almost every day. Ask yourself some why or how questions. Why is this so good? Why am I so rich? Why do I love myself so much? And play with it. Because every day, and that's why I'm doing these every single day, I think we need to be reminded. I think we need to have literally just a little loving reminder every day. And I want to end with this thought. I wrote it on my board. It's over there. And it's like, I see greatness in you. I see greatness in you. I see the potential you have to become exactly who you want to be. And I'm not particularly interested in becoming a billionaire. You know, some people are. I'm not. I don't need a bunch of toys, a bunch of stuff. I don't need to have my own personal helicopter, blah, blah, blah. I want to live a life that is on purpose, a life that is filled with abundance and richness and love and the time to appreciate the amazing things we have here, and enough money so that I can do what I want to do when I want to do it, so I can record all my songs, so that I can hire my dream band to come in and perform with me, and so that every musician is well paid. Those are small things and possible. I want to be able to share the ideas and the things that I've learned the hard way over the years in ways that make it easier, faster, and better for you to get there too. So that's it for today. Mark Shepard, honesthypnosis.com. I love you. I see greatness in you. Why is it possible? Why is it possible? Why are you rich today? Thank you so much. Over and out. Talk to you soon.